up, guys? This is Nate from Spirit Adrift. You are watching Loud TV.
So there is a new album out this Friday, I think.
Yeah.
Good. I think some fans already received the album.
Yeah, a lot of people that pre-ordered it because $20 Spin, the label over here, it's a smaller label. It's just two guys shipping all the records, so they got a head start on it last week. So a lot of people have their records already.
Cool. So I think the feedbacks are really good.
Yeah, man. It's already our most successful album. You know, it's outsold everything that we've ever done already, and it's not even out yet. So it's kind of crazy, especially with the way things are in 2020. It's we're very grateful that people like it so much. We're proud of it, so we're glad that people like it.
So what about these two guys you're talking about, this small label, and maybe we need more guys like this, you know, because you can be in a very big label like Century Media Records, but I think the local stuff is really important.
It is, yeah. So $20 Spin is the label is actually just one guy, but he has hired an employee to help him with shipping because he's selling so many records. And I love working with Century Media so far, but with $20 Spin, he and I are in very similar positions, you know, because this band is pretty much my life. Spirit Adrift is my life. It's very, very important to me. It's my entire focus is on Spirit Adrift. And then Dave at $20 Spin, same thing with his label. You know, his label is his entire life. It's all him. He puts his heart and his soul into it. So we approach the business side of things in a similar way. And you get kind of special attention when you're dealing just one-on-one with one person like that.
Yeah, especially in those troubled times when
Yeah,
you need the human contact.
absolutely. Yeah.
What about the lineup changes? There are a lot this year, I think, in the beginning of this year.
Yeah, well, last year. So Spirit Adrift began as a solo project. I played everything. And then by about the third time we went in the studio, now I had a live band. I was living in Phoenix, Arizona. So this was friends of mine in Phoenix. But in the studio, it's always really just been myself and Marcus, the drummer.
Mm.
And then live, we use different people. You know, I was playing in another band called Gatecreeper. So we ended up using some guys from that band to play with us live. But I quit Gatecreeper last year, and we separated the bands. We separated Spirit Adrift and Gatecreeper because we were tired of having to say no to really good tours and really good opportunities. Both bands were having to say no to a lot of really cool things. So yeah, last year we separated the bands. We have some new live musicians. We're doing a live stream on Saturday, and that will be the first time we play with the new lineup. We're playing some new songs and stuff. So yeah, but as far as the studio recording situation, it's always pretty much been the same. It's either just me or me and Marcus. Sometimes we'll have other people in the studio, but really we're the two core members of the band.
Yeah. This is maybe you go so fast because 4 albums in only 5 years. It's pretty fast. And admit.
Yeah. You know, people ask me if I do that on purpose, if I put out albums that.
Or if you sleep.
Yeah. Oh, I don't really sleep a lot. But you know, that's not that's not necessarily intentional. It's not important to me to put out albums really fast and put out a lot of albums in a short amount of time. The only thing that's important to me is make the best albums that I can make. And I don't know, my creativity hasn't slowed down. I always feel inspired. So as long as I feel inspired, I'm just going to keep writing.
I've read that you were in a very good mood to write this album.
Absolutely, yeah. It was just kind of a window in time where everything was good. Everything in my life was good. You know, I had I was getting burnt out with being in two bands at the same time, touring in two bands at the same time, not getting to do everything I want to do with Spirit Adrift. And so I had told the guys in Gate Creeper that I was no longer going to be in the band. Things in my personal life were really good. You know, I knew that I was just going to be focused solely on Spirit Adrift now. So I had it was like a big weight was lifted off of my shoulders, you know, and I just felt great. And all these riffs were coming out, and the riffs were like really cool, triumphant, powerful sounding, like, you know, just classic heavy metal riffs. So I figured out that I wanted to make an album that reflected that, you know, feeling invincible and feeling powerful, and you know, like old Judas Priest records, old Iron Maiden records, you listen to them and you just feel invincible. And and Rob Halford is telling you, you know, together we can overcome anything. I wanted to make a record like that.
Is it why this album is so, I know it's cliche to say that, but diversified more than the previous one, and the tempos, you know, are more diversified?
Yeah, I in the past I've sort of had musical goals. Like, I don't know that our previous albums are concept albums, but there's like a thread through the whole album, kind of tying it all together. This one, I had no rules, I had no expectations, I had no goals. The only goal that I had was to make it fun for myself, to write it, to record it. Um, so yeah, if I wanted to write a fast song, that's what was coming out. That's what I did. If it was a slow song and I liked it and I thought it fit, then that's what I did. And then some songs, you know, like Astral Levitation has kind of everything. It has mid-tempo parts, slow parts, psychedelic stuff, lots of melody, really heavy, fast, slow, you know, all over the place. So, and if you look at all the best metal records, they all have a big variety of different songs on them. Even like Master of Puppets, it has really fast stuff, but then it has slow stuff like The Thing That Should Not Be. It has the power ballad, you know, Sanitarium. It's got really progressive parts and really simple parts, and that's important to, you know, 46 minutes. Our new album is 46 minutes, and in today's society, that's a really long time to try to hold people's attention. And so I feel like you need to hit them with a lot of different stuff so it stays interesting.
Yeah, many bands they only release one song, two songs, three songs. You know, it's a kind weird situation.
Yeah, it's depressing, man. That's not how I grew up listening to music, and I'm not even that old. I'm only 32, but you know, when a band makes an album, I feel like all the good bands, they make a good album, not just one or two good songs and then a bunch of shit. Like, every song is good and the whole album is its own piece of art, and it is a record of where the band was at that point in time. And that's how I prefer to experience music, is full-length albums. And that's how I'm going to continue to make music, is I'm going to keep writing albums. I don't care about releasing singles just because people don't have the attention span. That's not my problem. That's their problem. I'll keep making albums.
It's funny because you are talking about three bands that we can hear through the album: Metallica, Judas Priest, and Iron Maiden. And I felt those inspirations into this album, and in the way you play, you know, the double guitar sound, uh, of course the tempos and everything. And did you listen to a lot of old stuff?
Always, yeah. The older I get and the more experience I have in the world of metal, I just want to listen to the best stuff that I like the most. And I like some new stuff, but there's a reason that certain bands, people still listen to them every day, 30, 40, 50 years later. That means that it's classic. That means that they were writing songs that are timeless, that are really quality songs, you know, not just a bunch of good riffs. Um, so yeah, the older I get, I try to listen to newer metal bands. Some of them I like, some of them are okay, some of them I don't like. But I know for sure that if I put on one of my favorite Judas Priest albums, it's going to make me feel good every day, no matter what. If I put on Screaming for Vengeance, I'm going to like it. If I put on Power Slave, I'm going to like it. If I put on Sabotage by Black Sabbath, I'm going to like it. There's no question. That's the stuff that really affects me in a positive way and inspires me. And those are the bands that, you know, they were carrying the torch for metal, and they passed it to, you know, let's say Black Sabbath passed it to Judas Priest. Judas Priest passed it to Maiden. Maiden passed it to Metallica, then maybe Pantera, then High on Fire, Mastodon. I want to take that and keep going with it and take it into the future. So I need to study the art form, you know.
Yeah. And we can feel on the production of the album, it's very warm, it's very 80s or 90s style, but the sound, of course, is very good. um, where did you record this album? It's very warm.
So we recorded in Tucson, Arizona, with our friend Ryan. We had worked with him previously. We did a Black Sabbath cover with him, Supernaut, which just came out a little while ago. And when we recorded the Black Sabbath cover, we had such a good time. It was a great experience, and the song came out sounding really good. So I knew that we should do this album with him. So he engineered the album and mixed the album. And then we sent it off to a guy named Howie Weinberg for mastering. And, you know, the entire time we were recording, we kept saying we want it to sound classic sound, but modern quality. So this guy, Howie Weinberg, he has worked on, oh my God, I looked at his discography, and it's like every big Def Leppard album, every good Slayer album, every some Scorpions, Rush, Danzig, Pantera, the Metallica remasters that have been coming out. We were just like, oh my God. So he was the perfect guy to master the album. And that's what we told him. We want it to sound classic, but we want it not to have old sounding production. We want it to have modern, good quality, solid production. And I think we did a good job of balancing the classic and the modern.
It's a good balance, indeed.
Thank you.
What about this artwork?
Yeah.
Is it
So
middle? Is it middle
sorry?
age? It's what is it?
It's some sort of fantasy dimension or planet or something. So when I was working on the very first song on the album, Right Into the Light, that's the first song I wrote. And you know, the riffs were coming out. It just was powerful sounding, and I just had a vision in my mind. I started thinking about the lyrics and the album title, and I just saw these people on horseback, kind of like a psychedelic landscape. And you know, our last album was Divided by Darkness, and I had this thought of just trying to get past the darkness and go away from the darkness and put it all behind us, because that was a very challenging record to make emotionally, you know. So I just saw these people riding their horses into the light. So there came the song title, lyrics, album title, and the artwork. I just saw it all. It just kind of formed naturally, you know. And so I contacted Adam Burke, who painted it, told him what I was seeing. And then the dogs are Marcus's dog and my dog, who passed away before we recorded the album. And I wanted to surprise Marcus. I had him send me some pictures of his dog. I sent them pictures of both dogs to Adam, the artist, and he painted them in there, which is, we're really happy that we were able to do that. You know, it makes it even more special for us.
Okay, so it's kind of fantasy on a near on a planet, and do,
Yeah,
you know the
sci-fi
band?
fantasy
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah,
you know the band Unleash the Archers.
yeah, for
They
sure.
are kind of the same topics.
Yeah, I like their new album a lot, and I don't normally like that kind of stuff, but they're really good songwriters. You know, it's all about good songs. So I always appreciate a good song, no matter what style of music it is.
Next year, going to if we can play in Paris with Corrosion of Conformity.
I hope so. I really hope so, man. We've never played in France, and we really want to. Um, and what better first time in France than with a band like Corrosion of Conformity? You know, I've been listening to them. I discovered Animosity on CD when I was like 13 or 14 years old, and man, like I just had never heard anything like that. And I love the stuff with Pepper also. I'm from the South, so I love that Southern rock kind of
Yeah.
influence, obviously. But yeah, I hope it happens, man. You know, it's out of our hands whether or not the circumstances will allow us to come, but I really hope so, man. We want to play in France for sure.
Yeah. And will you play maybe live also in the States?
Yeah, I mean, we were supposed to do a lot of touring. Um, you know, we're good friends with Paul Bear, and they're putting an album out the week after ours. So we were gonna try to do a bunch of stuff, and we just don't know. We don't know now. So when the record comes out, I've got a bunch of personal stuff I got to take care of. It's all good stuff, nothing negative. So I'm just gonna kind of focus on my my personal life until we are allowed to play shows again, and then we'll play shows as soon as we can. You know.
And to finish, you were talking about your influences at the very beginning, but what about Van Halen? That he passed away last week. What
Yeah,
about him
man.
and his playing?
Well, to me, for rock and or metal guitar, the three guys are Jimi Hendrix, Randy Rhoads, and Van Halen. I would put Dimebag Darrell in there also, because I think he can do all the stuff that those guys do. Dimebag's probably my favorite guitarist in metal, but for importance and for cultural significance and uh, just revolutionizing the instrument, yeah, it's Hendrix, Van Halen, Randy Rhoads for me. And I got the first Van Halen album when I was learning guitar, just like everyone needs to and everyone should. And you know, I learned Eruption as good as I could. Uh, I'm not the most diehard Van Halen fan as far as the band and the albums and stuff. They're one of those bands that if you make a greatest hits, of my favorite songs, you could do like 30 songs in a row and I'd be like, yes, 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 like every song. The albums I think are a little spotty, but what I will say is his guitar playing, there's nobody else like him ever. There never will be, there never was. And just his spirit about life and his attitude about life and music. And yeah, even though I'm not the hugest fan of the band Van Halen, I've always loved Eddie Van Halen and respected him as much as anybody. And it sucks, man. We lost Neil Peart and John Prine, who I'm a huge fan of, and Eddie Van Halen, not to mention everyone else who's died from, you know, coronavirus and everything. So it's a tough year, man.
Yeah.
That's a major loss. And there's not a whole lot of people doing the Guitar Hero thing still, but I think it's important that we try to keep that alive no matter what phase music culture is going through with this bullshit emo rap fucking shit that we have over here. Whatever the fuck it is, I don't even know what it is, but somebody needs to be keeping the Guitar Hero stuff alive, especially now that we don't have Van Halen. So I'm gonna try. I'm not ever gonna be as good as him, but I can try.
You gotta keep light the torch.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, brother, for sure.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.